Live on a Tuesday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. I am merely Bo. He is the great Z. There is an orb in the sky, at least where I am, and there is warmth in the air. There is warmth in the air. What is this? What is this 40s?
I don't know.
Feeling?
I mean, I've been, indoors all day, putting in an honest day's work.
Just at the salt mine.
All right.
It's basically, I feel like Derek Zoolander.
Like Fred Flintstone.
I think I got the black lung, Pop. It's been, so I mean, I see it out there. I wouldn't say it looks sunny here, but 40 degrees does feel downright balmy. What's Gibbe doing, making sounds in there? What are you doing, Gibbe?
This is not us. I believe it's back at studio control.
Okay. All right.
It's just nice to be able to walk outside and not have your face freeze off.
Yes, wonderful. It's too warm for my great hat, though, so that's sad. I had to put that away.
I can't complain about it. I'm guessing we're going to have something in the 20s next week. I'm sure.
I think
I'm sure
so.
There's more.
I think.
Are we out of it?
I think you're going to. It'll be a little bit of a roller coaster, but it's not going to be like 5.
We're not going to have any more sustained.
I hope not.
Can't feel your face.
This says right now that it's actually 51 degrees.
I'm showing 55.
Real feel 52.
Let's go outside and do the show.
58 real feel.
And then on Thursday,
Come on.
27.
Okay, but I can deal with 27.
The next week,
I can't
though,
deal with 5.
Next week, Saturday 44, Sunday 40, Monday 39, Tuesday 45, Wednesday 43, and rain, which might help get rid of some of this nonsense. And then Thursday 46. So I think we have a chance to get rid of not all of the snow. Certainly not anything that's been piled anywhere,
mountains.
But
yeah,
I bet a good deal of it. You might even be able to see like a little bit of your lawn at some point.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, it would be.
That would be for the first time since the middle of December.
It would be, and it would be great to know as well that my plow guy can then see where he's gone conservatively 15 feet onto my lawn. We'll be able to suss that out.
They have those. They have those things,
poles,
but the key to having those things is you have to adhere to where they are.
Yeah.
Those little spikes, like those, you gotta stay there. My guy did the same thing yours did. He just blew through it. He didn't care.
My guess is he's going to say, I couldn't keep pushing it towards your house. Then you wouldn't have been able to get out of your garage. So I had to create a new place to leave it. And I would have said, well, you could have done that on the left side where it goes off of down a hill and there's nothing there. And as opposed to the right side, right on our front lawn, where he severed the lights to our illuminated tree, which is very sad.
Who's doing your plowing?
Well, depending on how, no names please right now, but depending on how he resolves the fact that my mailbox he's pushed my mailbox over 45 degrees and he severed this switch, depending on how he just chooses to resolve that, will depend on whether or not he is named.
I think that's fair.
If he resolves it well,
conspirator.
He will be
But I'm going to say,
nameless if he does not.
How about a little attention to the detail?
I think people are out there fighting for their lives, buddy.
That's it. I think that the snowplow guys were just trying to get it done the best way they could so that people could get in and out of homes and domiciles and all of it, and caution be damned, and markers on driveways be damned. You're out of your house, aren't you pleased? And for the most part, yes.
You know who did that? My wife.
Did what?
She worked. She and her ex-husband owned a snow removal company, like in the winter.
Okay.
Wow.
And she would be out there. She was 8 months pregnant with Marissa at 3 a.m, taking care of parking lots, driveways.
Amazing.
She's like, oh yeah, there's a method to the madness. She loves watching the ones that can't do it. Like there's a group that takes care of a couple of houses on the street. She goes, idiots, watch this guy. He's going to end up in the ditch.
A
sure
rival
enough,
faction.
An hour later, they got a tow truck getting the guy out of it.
That's amazing.
She's like, yeah, you're an idiot. You don't know how to do it.
I do feel like most years the people who do it based on like a yearly contract, like the plow companies that use a yearly contract, win. But this year they have not won. And then this year the people who try to pay per push got smoked.
Yes.
Got annihilated.
Yeah.
The yearly contract people, we did well in this one instance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is one instance where we got it right. That feels like a very lucrative business on the if you're on the per push.
Yeah.
You've done quite well.
Just if you get a nice snowy winter, like the last couple winters, probably not so great.
No, true. Yeah,
this one,
this one's been one for the ages, to say the least. Speaking of one for the ages, we knew this was coming, but it doesn't make it any less difficult to read, just because this is a guy that we've obviously had quite a relationship with, and Z, obviously, I feel like in me to a lesser extent than you, but we've kind of all grown up in all of this together, and even you predate me with Chief on this as well. But officially today, the Chief announcing on social media last evening, in fact, that it would be his last season in Cleveland. Him writing on his Instagram post, "Cleveland, first off, I love you. These 9 years have been a beautiful journey. I'm so grateful for all the memories we shared together. Thank you to the Haslams, Andrew Barry, the whole Browns organization for everything. All my teammates I share the battle with. I'm so grateful for you guys. The time for me to find a new home has come, and all I can think of is just the gratefulness in my heart. The city of Cleveland will forever be home." And that one hits with Chief. I mean, we have his autographed football in there. He took our football, then he replaced it.
Yep.
Which was great. He used to come in all the time.
Yep.
I mean, how many? 5 times a year usually?
Yeah, he used to come in
something like that. First 4 or 5 years. I guarantee you were the first interview he ever did when he was here.
For sure.
How do you reflect on the Chiefs' run?
Love the Chief. Obviously, Pro Bowler for a while. It really matured. We saw him grow up, as you said, but really mature and become a leader of this organization. A guy who was, in 2019 almost, benched and banished and on his way out, and now an opportunity to come back from that, and he did it. He had requested a trade at one point. They said, "We're not trading you." They gave him a big contract. He plays his best. And just, always an energy guy, always a life of the party type of a guy.
Yep.
And somebody certainly, that I will miss. I've done many interviews with the Chief over my time here. We always got along very, very well. Sometimes I think we were maybe too comfortable in some of the interviews, but he's the best. Like, I'll definitely miss him. Absolutely love him. And, can't wait to see where he lands there and, get to see him hopefully before a game or two in the near future. But big fan of the Chiefs. Very solid career. You draft a guy in the first round, and he makes a Pro Bowl and plays for you for 9 years. That's a home run win of a pick. And so that's what David Njoku was. Involved in the community, at a celebrity softball game. Was it, the Cavs a lot. Just a good. He will be missed for sure. His energy will be missed. And it creates another, we talked about the Browns needing a lot of things on offense, and we've alluded to it. We said, you have Fannin, and you're going to need another tight end. We knew David wasn't coming back, but it's one of those things, like, there could be so much turnover of people that have been stalwarts, and I'm talking about, starters for anywhere from 4 to 9 to 13 years, with Bitonio and Teller and Chief and Posick, like, a lot of turnover, Jack Conklin, a lot of turnover potentially on that offensive side of the ball, like, just wild.
I would say that when I think of the, kind of those 17, 18, 19, those drafts, and those players that were a part of all of that, whether they were, guys who, whether it was the playoff win in Pittsburgh or, nearly beating Kansas City, or the Flacco run. And, I think, Miles and Nick Chubb were the two most popular guys. And then I think Chiefs slides right in there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think with the fan base, he was probably there. I mean, he was here longer than Jarvis, but there was that type of feeling, with him, where the fan base just loved Chief. He was so popular with kids. He was so popular with our fans. I mean, I think of his the way that he would be introduced, and the way that he would run out of the tunnel, and all of the stuff that would come with it. The way that he warmed up without his shirt on, and all of that stuff. Think about him playing after burning his face off.
Yes.
In that
yes.
mask. Do you remember that?
Yes.
My God. I mean,
Yes.
we were like,
Insane.
wait, what happened to Chief?
Yeah, insane.
And then he played Sunday.
Insane. His toughness is beyond reproach. I mean, it can't be questioned. It is beyond reproach. It's complete insanity. He is That in and of itself, that's legendary. It's a legendary thing he did. Like, to wear a helmet under those auspices, it's just totally.
Did that happen on a Thursday
nuts.
night or Friday night?
I think a Friday. I think it was a Friday. I think it was even closer to the game than a Thursday night.
Just Friday night.
It was a Friday night.
Yeah, completely insane.
Okay, Friday night.
Yeah.
And then, you heard stories of it. And then the next time you saw him, he was in a mask walking into the game.
Yep.
And we were like, well, he's not what is he doing? Like, he's not playing.
There's no way. No way.
And then he played.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's still one of the craziest things ever.
It is. Yeah. That's what I'll think of. The tomfoolery around and stealing our football and all of that. But the fact that he suited up, strapped that thing on, put the mask on, and put the helmet on with his face falling apart and off, and then went and played. Incredible.
As I said, his toughness beyond reproach. The guy's it's totally insane to me.
Yeah.
That he played completely insane and just incredible. Yeah, he'll be missed. It's very much it's a whole new era. I mean, you think about it, last year, Nick Chubb, the guys that were the standards, Chubb, Njoku, Bitonio, Teller, Conklin,
Yeah.
all, in a 2-year period, all could move on. Now, Joel Bitonio, I think, is more up to Joel Bitonio
Sure.
than anything, but there's a decision that's coming on that pretty soon, I think, in terms of what he needs to and what they need to figure something out pretty soon. I think he has a date in his contract that kicks in.
Oh, does he, has to make a decision?
Yeah, I thought there was something in Joel Bitonio's contract coming up in February. So the thing about Bitonio and with David Njoku is there's big dead money with both of them. So my guess is with because they added when they did their restructuring, they added these void years to spread out cap hits. So Joel Bitonio, the Browns still owe him about $23 million even after this season. And David Njoku is, I think, even higher than that. So my guess is with David saying he's moving on, he will be considered a post-June 1st cut because the Browns owe him $24,331,000, maybe even a little bit more than that. And then if they cut him post-June 1st, they can spread that money over the 4 years a little bit better than if he was cut.
Yeah, this is from Spot Track. 2026, he would be owed $9.5 million,
Yep.
and in 2027, he'd be owed $14.7 million. Okay. So I guess this was a restructuring.
It was all the restructuring. We created those void years, but now you have to pay that. So he's got 24.3 in dead money. Bitonio's got, I think, 23.5 in dead money because of those void years. So
I'm asking, I don't know, and I don't expect you to know everything, but what are there cap implications for all of this then?
Oh,
too?
yeah, you got to pay him. That money we have to pay. So we can pay that money over, a couple of years when you do it post June 1st as opposed to.
And then you spread the cap hit out?
Yeah, you can spread it out.
Over 4?
Like if for example, with Joel, if you didn't spread it out, you'd owe him 23.5 in 26, and then I think 14 in 27, if I'm reading this correct. But if you do it post June 1st, it's 8, and then you hit the balance later. So it just allows you to spread those hits out a little bit.
Okay. And then, but either way, he's going to get all of that. That money's owed to both of them. It's just, is it coming in one chunk or is it spread out for cap purposes? Is that a fair understanding?
He's getting that money.
Right.
So it's set to void on March 12, 2026, creating a $24.3 million dead cap charge for the 2026 season. That's for Njoku. Then they can spread that 24.3 over 2 years by making him a post-June 1st designation. Now, I don't know what happens with Joel if he retires, but I would imagine that money is paid already.
Right. Yeah, right? Because he would have done a restructure to get the money right away, and then
Yep.
Here's the thing.
There's a
I
lot
think
of complex
folks,
things in here. Yes.
There are. And so, like, you kick the can down the road, but inevitably there is a cap penalty for the kicking the can.
Yep.
It's
exactly.
not, you can't do it forever.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that, my guess is anybody that keeps going. So Joel Bitonio's contract is set to void on February 16th of 2026. So that is soon.
That's Monday.
Leading to a projected 23.5 dead cap hit for the 2026 season. Due to the void, blah, blah, blah. They can either extend him, obviously, if he comes back, or they can make him a post-June 1st cut. But I don't know if he is able to be a post-June 1st cut because his deal voids before the end of the league year.
Yeah. Well, either way, you're going to get some certainty on that by probably Monday.
Yeah.
Have to.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with those void years. That's where it gets tough. So Bitonio's got $23 million of void years. Wyatt Teller $10.3 million. David Njoku $24.3 million. Jack Conklin $5 million. Ethan Posick $4.5 million. Devin Bush $1.4 million. Shelby Harris $2 million. Those are their cap numbers for 2026, even though their respective deals will void in a matter of weeks. Those charges remain on the books as dead money once the contracts are void. The best way to recoup some of the cap space here is by saying the Browns could keep Bitonio on board. This is from Sports Illustrated. If he doesn't retire, in which case his cap charge would be reduced, whatever new money comes in his new contract, and it would all be spread out over 27 to 29. A post-June designation is also available, but teams can only use 2 of those, spreading those accelerated hits across the next 2 seasons. It's only kicking the can down the road, but you keep the player on the field and you save those charges for an offseason where you can better absorb the hit once you're done with Watson's tab. So that's really where it is. And they still have void years from Dalvin Tomlinson, $12.1 million that they're paying him in dead money. Juan Thornhill's being paid $5.6 million in dead money. Obo Okoronkwo $4.7 million in dead money.
Okay. All right. So is the bookkeeping, as it were, on that side of things.
And that's where the Haslams, that's where it means, though, that the Haslams are willing to pay a lot of cash up front for those void years, and that's why we're able to do those things we did. Now, unfortunately, when we did that, which was a very aggressive all-in play, we did not get the results that we wanted from kicking that can, down the way to be able to put the best roster on the field.
Yeah. I mean, the hope was that you ignited a Super Bowl window and you were a contender in that time, and okay, fine, this is the price we pay for contending, was this. And unfortunately, that part didn't happen. So that's why this offseason, folks, is going to be a scene.
Yeah,
offensively. I mean, we're going to need name tags.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of new people, which I think is good.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a lot of new faces in and around the building. Todd Monken continuing to get his staff put together. Browns assistant offensive line coach Sanders Davis will be retained by Todd Monken. Mary Kay on the reporting on that. Speaking of Mary Kay, also reporting that the Jets are hiring Billy Musgrave as quarterback coach over there. Really quickly on the Jets, what are they doing?
Not sure. I want to just add one more thing on the offensive side. We heard yesterday Christian Jones is going to be the wide receivers coach.
Yep.
We have not heard anything about a running backs coach, but I think that there's a fair chance, a good chance that Deuce Staley will be retained in that spot. Who did a great job in that role.
That'd be great.
That would be fantastic.
That would be great. That'd be great to have Deuce back.
I told the G-Man because we've got our roster up on the board now, and he's updating it.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're going to move like the day-to-day CBD stuff over to the other board. I go, I need headshots of every one of these new coaches, offensive staff, defensive staff. I'm like, because I don't know who's who right now. I introduced myself to was in the cafe with George Warhop the other day. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, we know the same guy. You know him a lot. You know him better than probably me, but you know.
Right. No, we've had the same players, same coaches primarily for 6-7 years.
But you could see him looking around a little lost because he was like, yeah, this has changed a lot since I was last here.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So really, the only thing we don't know about that we haven't heard anything about, and I've been told we're very close with on a special teams coordinator, that being done. Todd Monken today in my the fireside chat he and I did for the season ticket member said he hopes to have the staff completely wrapped up by this weekend with the defensive coordinator and everything.
Okay, good.
All right.
So I think we got a special teams coordinator. No names, please. And I think we're good. The only one that I don't know about is with Christian Jones going from tight end to wide receiver. I don't know who the tight end coach, because there isn't an incumbent. Whereas at running back, Deuce is here.
I think Blasco.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think that's, I was going to say there was someone that we've already hired that's going to be coaching them.
Yeah, and hopefully there's a time. I mean, obviously we're going to catch up with everybody at the combine, but then hopefully there's a time in March where we can get those guys in on a car wash and kind of, introduce all the fans and everybody to our new staff, because not only we got to know them all, you got to know them as well, because we haven't had turnover like this in a long time.
Yeah,
it's been
Jeff Blasco. Yep. I don't know that they've said necessarily what it's expected to become the new tight end coach. Yes, that is.
Nothing's official
Right.
until basically the whole staff's put together, and then there'll be a.
So if from reports, then what we would know is on the offensive side, we've got Monken, head coach and play caller. Offensive line we know is George Winthrop.
Warhop,
I'm sorry.
Warhop.
Yeah, Warhop. The Hops guy.
Winthrop worked with Billy Ray Valentine in Trading Places.
There we go.
boy, that is a fantastic pull.
Tight end would be.
You're not as sick as you appear.
Yeah, no, he's still firing
Hanging
all
on,
cylinders.
hanging on.
Tight end Jeff Blasco. Wide receiver is Christian Jones. Running back, we think could be Deuce. Quarterback is Pajakin.
Yes. First name, not sure. Mike.
Yep.
Thank you, G-Man.
Thank you, G-Man.
Look at you. Not even looking at
Mike
a screen.
Pajakin was with Michigan State.
Right.
And obviously with the Bucks, which is where I think Todd knows him from. And then he brought over Warhop, but also
Pass game coordinator?
right. There's a lot of guys coming from that Raven staff.
Yeah. So
Travis
Yeah,
Switzer, right? OC. That's the hard part with all these rumors, is that we haven't gotten confirmation on them.
Right.
That'll all come, and the reason that is they like to do it all kind of in one
Formal announcement.
one shot.
Yep.
Right.
But yeah, so that's how it is.
All right. So we've all have some learning to do on that side of things. We do have the return of higher, lower later in the show compliments for our friends at ESPN. One of the things they asked each NFL Nation reporter to submit was the offseason in 3 words. And ESPN NFL Nation Browns reporter Daniel Oyefusi wrote, "All in on offense." What would be your 3 words for this upcoming Browns offseason and why? Dr. Z.
What were those 3 words again?
All in, there's a hyphen, on offense.
No, that's 4 words.
It's a 4-worder.
Those are 4 words. All in on offense.
Yeah.
All in is not 1 word.
No, it's a.
I'm going off of
it's
what the article said.
That's right. Yeah.
Who's this guy think he is? Me?
Huh?
When you
You
told
give
me
us no rules.
you give me limits, and then I say those
Not
are
even-
those are
not
mere
even
suggestions. Those limits.
Yeah.
Limits, yes. Yeah, by the way, Travis Switzer, Danny Brayer, those are the other ones that have come along with Warhop. I wanted to get those names right. All right. Mine would be
Offense.
or weapons. I'm going to go with one from the Todd Monken playbook. 4th and 1. Every day is 4th and 1.
I love when you do that, when you get fired up, and then you make a statement, and then you slap the table.
It's bad enough he screams into the microphone, so then I got to adjust it. But then he cracks the table.
Hold on, let me do it again. All right, I'll do it again. I'll try to do it better, Ray. Thank you. 4th and 1. Every day is 4th and 1.
Why do we repeat that?
Into the solo camera.
Because he wanted it into the camera.
Yeah, into the solo camera.
Yeah, great.
You're the producer,
camera?
dude. For crying out loud. How do you not know what's going on?
Where's my
here?
camera?
Don't feed into that.
By the way, Dr. J is the head honcho.
Dr. J. How do you elevate?
I don't know. Look at where's the? Do you see? Does it say it on your desk anymore? Or does it say it on his desk?
This is coming from the young man that gets bored when he has to work a, quote, yeoman's effort full day and starts playing around with everything on my desk and moving stuff.
Can I just
hiding my glasses?
Can I just stop you
hiding
right
my
there?
Yeti? Like
how close is our, like if we were all, how close is it to the office?
Hold on, please.
How close is what? Like to the show?
Thank you.
The whole setup.
Hold on,
if
please.
we just documented this, it's not that far off from the office.
Probably not.
He's hiding your head honcho. He's hiding your water glass. All
That's
of it.
right. My
Dr.
children
J
gave me
Dr.
that.
J, go back to the 2-shot and then come back to the 1-shot since we're being interrupted. Thank you. Gibby, I want to say thank you for calling me a young man.
I don't.
The use of these solo shots is just
J-Man,
it's just going to be insane.
Dr. J is the head
find
honcho.
you.
So the reason that we're having this conversation is that today, Dr. J, young Gabriel, and I went and had a catch. We went to the field house.
Oh,
We had a catch.
Again,
And
working hard
by the way,
or hardly working. Depending.
we were in front of many luminaries on the personnel side of this department who happen to be in the field house as well. And
What were they doing?
who's young Gabriel or Dr. J or both of you? Feel free to slide over the mic. Excuse me, sir. You weren't there.
I got to pass. I
You
was
weren't
doing
there.
Work. I was doing work, Bo.
You weren't there. No, you were asked to come, and you were not there.
I was doing work.
All right, so let him slide in, Collinsworth slide. We need a camera for that. Very nicely done.
He was dismissed.
There's a camera right here.
Well, let's get it on.
You give him a camera. Come on and give me a camera.
You sound like you're angry today.
G-Man.
He's angry today.
look at little
So,
G-Man in there.
young Gabriel.
I call him the barber. He's got a good barber shirt on.
He does. I
does
don't even know.
look at that. It's
He looks
good.
fantastic.
He looks great.
Yeah.
All right, young Gabriel.
Fantastic.
We were in there having a great catch. There were routes being run.
Indeed.
There were a lot of personnel people in there.
There were, yeah.
There were whispers.
You can't say there weren't.
There were whispers that maybe they liked what they saw from a certain 6'4" quarterback, and there were talk that I heard that perhaps decades-long droughts are coming to an end.
Oh my God.
He was dealing.
You're Chad Powers.
Can you confirm or deny?
I can confirm, yeah.
Yeah, and we even set up certain routes so that ball would be caught like whistling in right in front of the personnel people. And then we asked them for their feedback on what they just saw.
So here's the.
What did
question is-
Catherine think of your velocity?
She wasn't there, but I'm sure she would have been impressed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was
Who
curious
was on
if the
the
spin rate
receiving
was.
end of routes, and did they make the catches?
That's why, first of all, yes, young Gabriel was great in his routes. We worked him in what we would call the underneath stuff. Down the
Oh.
field, we went.
Jeez.
Down the field, we went. Young Gabriel, you said after a few, you said that's it for me.
I mean, yeah. I'm not the most in shape guy. No.
That's not what we're saying. Dr. J.
It is in a roundabout way.
Dr. J.
Who is G-Man's comp? Like I
Jason
seem like a young
Witten.
Chris Cooley.
Jason Witten.
Chris Cooley's. That's a good poll.
The
I
ki-
like him as a young.
The
Chris
kid
Cooley.
always called him Chad Cooley. I don't know why, but I liked it.
No,
you
I
have
was-
a little Brent Selleck to your game?
Yeah.
I can respect that. I was
All right.
pretty good in blitz pickup, I think.
Oh, then he started playing left tackle, and it was hard for me to. I was like, it's like the Hoffs over there. I had no worry of pressure coming off the blind side.
Nothing to see here.
No big
But
deal.
Dr. J was out there, and really the only name that continually popped into my head based on what I saw from him was Justin Jefferson.
Oh my gosh, this is
It
a
was
change of.
it was a
This is
180.
a different conversation.
It was a 180. Caught everything. The routes were crisp. He even had one where he ran like a 10-yard square in, and I threw it with great anticipation. And it like hit him in the chest before he even knew the ball was there, and he caught that one too. Dr. J, what's his self grade? My grade for him
Does
is
he feel
out of
good
100,
about himself?
99.9. I think there was only one even double catch, maybe one that you should have had that you didn't. But other than that, I'd say 99.9.
I got to give myself an 80. I'm going to give myself
80?
an 85. 85.
An 80. So
'Cause I wanted
looking for
tweaks in
more.
it.
Yeah, he wants perfection. I like that. That's
Yeah,
hungry. We can be different individuals, but we got to have the same mindset, and that's to get better. And that's what Dr. J did.
4th and 1.
Fourth and one every day.
There it is.
Every day. There it is. I think I knocked out my earphones right there.
There we go.
That's fine. That's fine. We can get new ones.
But Dr. J was fantastic. There's Allison.
I don't know.
We got people walking around with putters right now. That looks fun.
Perfect.
Scotty Cameron. That is a Scotty Cameron. Are those bronze inserts? You better believe it.
Oh.
So Dr. J was phenomenal. That was great. Now, the most impressive thing that I saw all day, though, in there, actually, we played a game, but we got involved with some of the PR staff. We played a little pig over there. We had a 4-person game of
Okay.
pig.
Who from the PR staff?
Smooth jumper. Not really a jumper. Smooth set shot. Dom could shoot the basketball a little bit.
Glad he made it back from Super Bowl week. All right.
Dom could shoot the basketball a little bit. I think the order was Dom, Young Gabriel, Dr. J, and then me was the order that we went in. Now, Young Gabriel had some nice shots,
I'm so washed, dude.
but wasn't happy with his performance. And he was much
In
like
your 20s.
much like in the fantasy football competition of the playoffs. Young
I was out
Gabriel
quickly.
bounced early. He was like Zach Charbonnet,
Yes.
eliminated. Dr. J,
Without the knee injury, though.
Dr. J shoots these knuckleballs that have no spin on them, no rotation
and
whatsoever.
every shot, he's like, that's in.
And every shot he takes, he calls good in the air. The only ones I saw him make banked in when he was not intending to make it. You throw him on the baseline, forget about it. But the irrational confidence I admire. It was
It's
like,
it's going in.
oh, man, what was that guy? Like Monte Ellis, who had a lot of irrational
Yeah,
confidence
he
and
had-
throw up
oh,
these
he had
heat
that,
checks.
yeah.
So that
Pacers
was
legend.
like Dr. J.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, and there's Along Came Polly has
Oh, yeah.
national confidence in hoops.
Yes, all irrational.
Yeah.
Dr. J, and then it came down to me and Dom at the end, and I used some guile. I had one where I stood under the basket and had the one hand flip it up because take advantage of my long arms. Got him on that. I got him with what used to be my horse finisher. It was called the dog bottom. One leg, one hand, left leg on the ground only, right hand shot from top of the key-ish, bottoms.
Yep.
And then we beat him hiding behind the pads on the left baseline, and that was it. I thought I was done for. This was not up to my standards at all, but I haven't shot basketball in probably a year. But once I got in
Yeah.
a little bit of a rhythm, it started to feel a little bit
Yeah,
better.
it'll come back.
It was weird. The shots that I thought felt pure were all a little short and right. But so then I had to
Okay.
compensate for that, and then I did.
Yeah, but
and it was good.
you're learned.
Yeah, I'm learning, man. But we had a great time in there. But I want to tell you, the most impressive thing that I saw in all of this, and unfortunately for this young man, we don't need a kicker. We've got Andre Schmidt. We've got Andre, and he is a good kicker. But young Gabriel had 2 kicks. Now, there may have been some things that happened in between these 2 kicks, but we don't need to talk about that. But his first kick,
That's right.
his first kick from 20, boom, boomer, high, end over end, right down the middle,
go.
slight right to left. And then his last one, we backed it up to 30, kaboom, right down the middle. Very impressive. Young Gabriel, he's like, I really want to kick a field goal. I'm like, you can kick? And he's like, yeah. Put it down there.
Amazing.
Wham. I was like, whoa. It really wasn't. So
That's
young Gabriel,
incredible. Well done.
take a bow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well done.
And we missed Gibbe in there. I think Gibbe would have had a great time.
I think you would have.
I would have.
I'd like to see Gibby in that horse game.
I would have loved to have seen Kevin Duckworth's shot in that horse game.
Yeah, I think
The Bill
I bet
Cartwright?
soft.
That's about right on
Soft
everything that
wrist.
you just described.
Yeah.
All you're missing is Ostertag, and you've got
there we go. I
you've
got
the
it.
trio.
Yeah, I was
It's
hitting him
all
with some
soft
Dirk
touch for Gibby. A lot of
Nowitzki's.
jump hooks.
Oh, yeah.
Some jump hooks. A little Monken drill.
That was my first bucket. I rebounded a miss, and I went back up with a jump hook. And then whenever I make a jump hook, I say banned in 48 states because my coach Whitworth tried to ban the jump hook. Why would you ban the jump hook? Did they tell Kevin Willis he couldn't jump hook? No.
Why would he ban
Did they
it?
tell Kareem?
Why
No,
would
that was a sky hook. Why did he ban my jump hook?
Yeah.
Because I didn't mess with it, and he hated me. I really think that's.
Seems
I think
reasonable to not want to.
if we got
Completely
here,
unprovoked hate.
I'm gonna text. I'm gonna
There
text.
is-
I'm gonna
there-
text Vince.
Yeah.
I'll text Vince
Ask
Conde,
him if
friend of
he's
the
made
show.
a
and say,
shot yet.
I'm gonna say soon.
Poor Waffle.
Do you remember why Witt banned my jump hook?
If he comes back with like 5 whole text pages about why,
Well,
that
the
man
best part
hates you,
was-
I want them all on the air.
All right, I'll respond to everything.
Airing of the grievances.
The best was then we played a game. We had one game where he banned us from shooting jumpers in a game. We were not allowed to shoot jumpers. Only
Was he allergic to winning?
We won anyway.
I mean, there's other.
But the best was I
feel like that
finagled.
happens in the middle school program, but
I finagled at like the end of a third quarter, where like I could have passed it in for a layup, or maybe we could have gotten a layup, but I kind of held it till there was 1 second left, and I had to take a jumper, and I made it.
Yeah.
And he was pissed. I was like, "What do you want me to do?
was
There's 1
mad.
second left. You know, just hold the ball.
What do you want? What'd I do?
What'd I do? Yeah.
What'd I do?
Yeah.
I didn't do anything.
Coach Witt, I'm gonna find out.
I had to shoot it, Coach.
Yeah, Soon's he'll remember. He'll remember.
Yeah, all right. We'll look forward to the answer on that. Those are your hot topics today, presented by University Hospitals, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. Coming up next, we continue with our position reviews, and it's appropriate today. We will be in the tight end room, where David Njoku will not be a part of it. We will get to that coming up next. We're off and running on a Tuesday. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. And official real estate partner of your Cleveland Browns is Northeast Ohio's #1 real estate provider, dedicated to helping you make the best move. Visit howardhanna.com/GoBrowns to explore your winning options today. We continue our positional reviews as we look back on 2025 and look ahead to 2026. We are on the offensive side of the ball, and we are in the tight end room, and the news of last night only enhances this conversation, Doctor.
It most certainly does. And I think really going into it, the only guy that you can say is for sure going to be on this roster in 2026 is Harold Fannin. And Harold Fannin had a tremendous season. I think that you could say that he should be a Pro Bowler. And I think that would be a valid thing. I think he could have been in the, conversation for the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Maybe not a winner, but a finalist. 72 catches, 731 yards, 6 touchdowns receiving. He scored a touchdown running as well. Lined up in the slot, lined up out wide, lined up in the backfield. In fact, Harold Fannin's touchdown against the New England Patriots on our opening drive, using that kind of insert where he comes from the backfield, inserts up in the C gap, and then runs that corner route where they have a clear out route to the right. That is the same concept that the Seahawks used on the touchdown to A.J. Barner. Now, it was window dressed differently. Barner was in motion from a wing left, but came right out the C gap, play action in that direction, clear out to the right. He runs the flag, and obviously it caused confusion in the linebackers. He ends up open just like Fannin did. So that's something that I guarantee, if you were to ask Clint Kubiak, that came from what we did with Harold Fannin in that game against New England when they were putting that game plan together, 100%. And worked in the Super Bowl as well. But he's the only one that can guarantee to be back. Blake Whitehart ended up injured, 2 catches on 6 targets for 40 yards in 17 games. Brendan Bates ended up injured as well. He had 4 catches for 48 yards. Sal Cannella had 2 catches for 11 yards in 2 games, and he signed to a reserve futures contract. Bates is an exclusive rights free agent. Blake Whitehart's a restricted free agent. I think this is a position group where the Browns could bring somebody in and draft somebody. I think you could see. I think Harold Fannin could have 2 new people there. They may be fine with Whitehart or Bates as the third. We'll see. But I would say the only person right there that is putting roots down in Cleveland for the 2026 season in this room is Harold Fannin, and you're likely going to have 3. So that could be a spot where you've got 2 new ones. Oh, there it is. There it is. God. Yes, there it is. They know.
So exciting.
So it's not exciting. Oh, it's not exciting at all. But maybe.
But maybe.
Good work, Dr. J.
He's back.
And he threw
Dr.
that solo.
J's back.
And he threw that
You
solo
never
up there. He's
left.
so
Dr. J's
back. And also, what I saw from him today made me wonder how he didn't absolutely dominate that league. Like, how was he not 102 every week?
Maybe he didn't have the signal caller. Maybe he didn't have a mid-40 Jeff George in there slinging it around.
What he had was probably in his late 20s D1 quarterback, like with real accolades, other than a Georgia flag football state championship in the year 2000.
Listen, you can't fake chemistry.
That's true. I also think that perhaps, now this is the one variable in the 2 that I need to note, is that the first time we were throwing the Duke around, today we were throwing around Tarv's awesome indoor football league San Diego squad that's white and it's got the stars and stripes.
Ball.
And when you throw a good spiral, it looks
that's
so
on
good.
Fridays after we get on taping pregame player.
You would go in there with Tarv's a little bit. Oh, yeah. So that was a variable.
So the Duke is a more difficult ball to catch if you're not used to it.
Yeah. What did you think, Dr. J? Do you think this was an easier ball to catch?
It was softer on the hands, yeah.
A little softer on the hands, he said, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Duke can be – it's formidable.
Especially when they get it inflated to like those crazy levels and it's just like a rock.
Yeah. It's a rock.
Yeah, I'm with Brady, the Deflategate. You like to have a little squeeze in that ball. For me to throw it, I like a little squeeze in that ball.
Yeah, me too.
Is that funny?
It's appropriate.
So we have like one mention on Twitter. We have one notification. And I feel like it could be from your ex-high school coach's burner account.
Whitworth?
It says, fire Zagura, he's horrible. That's the only thing that's come across in the last like 20 minutes. And I'm like, is this the coach burner?
Let's go.
G-Man was like, I think he had the thought.
He could be. What if he's like Shooter in Hoosiers and he's just a drunk in the woods of Ohio? Coach Witt is.
Jeez.
Jeez Louise. I don't know. Maybe.
No, you
Could
live
be.
in the woods.
Listen, I have
Good
a lot of
luck with
respect
that.
for him. I have a lot of respect for
Godspeed.
Coach Witt.
You've had a good run.
He was your arch nemesis.
He was a little bit of my nemesis.
You didn't even play your senior year because of the guy.
Fact. 100% true.
So how could he be?
100% true. Well, I don't know if he's walking around woods that he wants to, to kill me.
I don't think he wants to kill you.
That's what you were saying. I was trying to like butter him up a little
No, I said shooter in Hoosiers.
Oh, I thought you
Shooter
meant
in
he was
Hoosiers
like
wasn't
walking
killing
around with like
anybody.
I thought he was walking around with like a
No.
rifle. He's going to be as
No.
a shooter.
That's what I was
No.
thinking. I was thinking he was
Shooter.
hunting
You guys have
Zagura.
seen Hoosiers, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. The drunk in the woods. His nickname was Shooter. For God's sakes.
Okay, good. Well, I just
Not a
listen. Just
actual
trying to
gunman.
appeal to his humanity right there, if, in case he was already had
Yeah.
made his mind made up, like Buscemi and Billy Madison.
I'm glad that guy. What did he say? What did Sandler say when Buscemi? Who'd he shoot?
He saved him. He shot the
He saved him.
yeah. He saved
Yeah,
him.
he goes. I'm glad I didn't mess with that guy.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he had the list. He was like
Except
Arya
I think
Stark.
you did mess with this guy.
So I said to Vince, I said, "Soon, do you remember why Witt banned my jump hook?" His reply, because he's a dumb beep. Same as when he banned us slapping the backboard.
Yeah,
You got
that's
banned for
dumb.
slapping the backboard
They
too?
banned slapping the backboard. Come on, in
So
high
he banned
school,
I loved a
when you
good-
weren't a big dunker,
Absolutely.
you loved to slap the
Yeah.
backboard.
So he banned fun.
Yes, which is maybe why he didn't
That's
like
what it
me so
was.
much. Yeah.
Yeah,
But the
he
jump
banned
hook was a
fun.
deadly weapon. I didn't like to go, I didn't go in the paint much, but when I did,
Sure.
my move was I had the jump hook. I like to shoot it with my right hand. I could go left with it, but typically when I went left, I hit a one-legged fadeaway. But if I went right,
Okay.
it was the jump hook, and I could get that off against just about anybody. And he banned it.
No fun.
Yeah.
Guy's a no fun guy.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think if Todd Monken could put together a tight end room? What's it look like?
I think he's going to want. I mean, Fannin, I think, is exactly what he wants. Fannin's going to be his new Mark Andrews. I think that he wants a second, kind of move-ish tight end who could, in fact, be Isaiah Likely, who's a free agent. And then I think he wants somebody that, can really block. Like Charlie Kohler, that's the role that he had for the Ravens last year. Now, remember, I don't know if he's going to, try to have a Ricard here. Now, that could be Aiden Huntington, right? That's kind of what Aiden Huntington became our Ricard last year. But I think
Right.
he wants probably two guys that he can use as pass catchers and can move around formations, and then he's going to want one guy who is just an absolute beast as a blocker.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see where all of that tracks out by the time we get to minicamp and all the things that are coming here over the next couple of months. Coming up next, we will go around the sports world. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. And more fun to your fan with the Bally Bet Sportsbook app. Download today, get 50 back in bonus bets. You place that first wager of 10 or more. Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. We go around the sports world. This happened yesterday. Didn't get a chance to talk about it. Per Adam Schefter, there will be a push this offseason to extend the NFL trade limits from 3 years of draft picks to 5. This would mean that currently picks through 2031 would be tradable as opposed through 2029. Gibbe and G-Man and Dr. J want to know, what would this mean for NFL trades? This is basically put in place to protect the teams from themselves, is it not?
What is the way that it currently is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just means that somebody's going to offer 5 1s for Joe Burrow is what I think it's going to mean. It's going to mean somebody's going to do that, or somebody, it just people are going to be able to make bigger swings to go after, big players. I think that it allows for some more future trading where you're just like, hey, I really want this person. Yeah, we really want a 1. Well, we'll give it to you in 4 years. Like, who the heck knows what pick that's going to be in 4 years? I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I think I'm all for it. I think trading's fun. I'm all for it. I'd like to see the league be able to be more flexible and more, nimble when it comes to trading and be more creative. So, and I think they need to push the trade deadline back. I think if the NFL is going to go to an 18-game season, I think the trade deadline needs to be after 12 games, where you really know if you're in it or out of it 2/3 of the way through, and then you can make a reasonable decision at that point if you want to trade or not. I think when you do it when it's 2 before people know, I just don't think you get a lot of trading. It'd be super easy if you think this guy's the piece to me winning a Super Bowl. You're like, hey, I'll give you a 1 in 20-30.
Right.
Sure. Who knows? The GMs they might not even know. Like, I might not even be the GM in 2030. It might not even be my problem.
No.
Now, it's probably same true of the acceptor of that trade, but, that's how I could see some stuff like that going on. By the way, Senior Swag right now holding court with like 20 people out there. And just
give me the outfit.
He looks fantastic. He's in the glare from the sun, which is a wonderful thing to say. So I can't give you a color on it. Looks like he's got the monk straps, those brown monk straps on the bottom. Obviously a tight pant, sport coat. I can't tell if it's a suit or if it's a sport coat with it could be a matching navy suit is what it's looking like as I try to assess the situation from here.
Yeah, designer ends in A for sure, custom tailored for sure.
There's no doubt.
Did you watch any of the basketball last night? Your beloved Wildcats?
No. Once I saw that the guy wasn't playing and that Arizona said they're going to take the night off, they don't want to risk it in a game that really doesn't have consequences. I knew they were going to just drop the game, and we got to get a loss out of the way beforehand. Look at this guy.
What a bummer, man.
I think it is a suit. I think it's a
navy suit.
It's a navy suit, some window pane.
What was our guy's reason for not playing last night?
Flu.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Did you see the Barstool video that they grabbed?
No.
So they videoed a guy who was running the scores table saying nobody knew about it. Darren went up to the coach and Self basically said, like, well, if you're not 100%, don't play. And Darren was like, blanket, I'm out. And that happened like 15 minutes before. A Kansas AD then quote tweeted it and said, this isn't true. This isn't someone who has any inside information. They're not working with the University of Kansas. It was someone who was working with ESPN. So there's all this drama surrounding it. Meantime, Kansas just wins on Monday night on Big Monday. Bill Self's like 40-0 on Big Monday.
Yeah, he can't lose.
At Kansas, just does not lose. But it was a bummer, man, because you wanted to see him
Best
against
on
them.
Best.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
They won
you
anyway.
weren't able to do it.
Yeah. No Lute Olson. R.I.P. We miss him.
No Lute. It's not around. It's been a while. How long has it been since Lute Olson was a coach in Arizona? 20 years?
Too long.
Probably.
It's the Lute and Bobby Olson court. Look at this.
It is.
There are a lot of luminaries
So
here.
there's a lot of things going on.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. There's a lot of people in the
just
building. So
Just Miami, Ohio is the last undefeated.
Yep.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that
Mac should be a
Zerbiak's
two-bid
a good player.
Max should be
Yeah.
a 2-bid league. By the way, I don't know if
Should.
you
This
know
year it
this.
should
You were
be.
downstairs frolicking with Nathan Zagura. Akron Kent going to ESPNU, picking up national TV.
Yeah. Well, did you see, Miami plays Ohio on Friday night at 9 o'clock,
That's
and that's ESPN National.
Yeah.
Yep.
Should.
So
They
Yeah, it's
keep
gonna be
finding
fun.
ways to win.
they do. Yeah, they can fill it up. All right, we'll talk a little offensive football with our buddy Jake Burns of the Browns Film Breakdown coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Valley Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, time to head on the Twisted Tea Hotline presented by Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea, official sponsor of your Cleveland Browns. Keep it twisted, Cleveland. He's our good buddy Jake Burns, the Browns Film Breakdown, and you can follow him at Browns Film BDN on Twitter, and he joins us there. Buddy, always good to talk to you. Let's just start with some generalities of the Todd Monken offenses you've watched through the years, whether that was here or certainly at Georgia or with Baltimore. What would you describe from Todd's perspective as non-negotiables for his offensive football team?
Well, I think he likes to have flexibility. I certainly don't think there's anything really rigid about what he likes to do. He seems to be malleable. That's kind of been impressive. If you recall back when he came to join Freddie Kitchen's staff back in 2019, a lot of what he did in Tampa was 11 personnel based, and there was a lot of excitement about downfield opportunities. And I think if we, it's amazing we're going back almost 6 years, 7 years now to think about that. It seems like yesterday, but They definitely did push the football downfield. There just were too many mistakes made at the quarterback position that year, too many turnovers created. I think, there was probably a little bit of a lack of cohesion between maybe what Todd thought was best and what Freddie thought was best, and it was just a little bit of a clash. But nonetheless, what ultimately came of that is I think he went to Georgia with the idea of reshaping some of his identity. And obviously, if you go to Georgia and there's a couple guys there that are, pretty good at the tight end position, and Brock Bowers and, the big fella Washington over there in Pittsburgh, you definitely have to shape your offensive identity around those guys because, they're pretty freaky players at the position. So when you have, the ability to use a guy in Darnell Washington who's an extra tackle but can run, you have Brock Bowers, you get a lot of flexibility. So what I noticed when watching his final season at Georgia, that team that beat TCU to win the national championship that year, that comeback win over Ohio State, they were really, because, again, when you have those two, they had Ladd McConkey, they lived in 12 personnel. They really liked condensed sets, and they really wanted to put the quarterback in a spot to process things without having like rigid structure. So he would give a lot of zone man concepts, zone to one side, man to another. He would create great blocking angles for his tight ends and putting them in space and giving them a chance. And he was really good at play action, at putting things that look like their run game from the gun. They would get under center some. They were not afraid to also do some pistol stuff too. And then they would create great play action opportunities as well. A lot of that very tight trips bunch stuff where you have the three-man, instead of being spread wide, they would be next to the tackle box. Love to use that. And as I go into more of what he did, as he leaves Georgia, goes to Baltimore for 3 years, he arrives in a place with a really good tight end situation, right? It's obvious to see the fit between the two sides, why they would be drawn to him from the Baltimore side based on what he was doing at Georgia. So I think what's interesting to me is he gets there the first year. They're a bit more of a gap run offense team, and they try to get the tight ends involved as frequently as they can off that look. Then they get Derrick Henry, and they did convert to more zone running because that's where Derrick is most comfortable, kind of read, react, and then be that patient runner who makes that powerful cut and gets downhill. So they have converted a little bit of the run game, but it's hard to really put Todd Monken's approach in a box because I think year over year it can be really fluid based on what he thinks is best for his personnel. And I know in that interview room, that's the thing that the Browns are drawn to, that he doesn't live inside of a box. He can look at the personnel they have, call back on several different places of different offensive philosophies dating back to his Oklahoma State days with Brandon Weeden, and we know how special that group was with Justin Blackman, and working through years of working with Jameis Winston and trying to figure out what's best for him. He's just been around a lot of places, and it's obvious to see to me that he has the ability to kind of pull from those experiences and make it work. And I am really interested in him with a mobile quarterback because what he's able to create for not quarterback run game, but for creation of moving throws for his quarterbacks is really fun stuff. I think that's a part that I think he gets undervalued on at times, is giving his quarterbacks ways to create clean pockets by using run action, play action, and run heavy looks that make the defense match it with personnel and then create a very limited amount of things the defense is comfortable doing because they're living in the world that they got heavier guys on the field. That means less blitzing. That means more predictable coverage, and thus obviously easier to find some answers.
So we were talking about, David Njoku released his statement yesterday that he would not be back, which is not unexpected. Harold Fannin will be back. What do you think Todd Monken wants the rest of that tight end room to look like? We were talking about that in the first hour, and also I have to give you a shout out because I was talking about something that I noticed watching the Super Bowl, and then I noticed as I looked in here that you actually did a video about this, that the Seahawks touchdown to Barner was very similar to our touchdown to Harold Fannin against the Patriots. So good job by you on that one, and a great video. People can check that out. But what do you think he wants this tight end room to look like?
Yeah, that play was like sit up on the edge of your couch. It's like the DiCaprio meme where you're snapping your fingers watching the
Yeah, you're like, I recognize that.
Yeah, I mean, exactly right. They I think the modern football approach is calling for tight ends. And again, this isn't new. There's been ebbs and flows of this stuff, but What you want to be able to do is either be light and be good at being light and have guys like, and again, this is just one example, but the Puka Nakuas and those types of guys who are unafraid, if you're in 11 personnel, to go into the box, insert against a linebacker or a safety, but can also run dynamic play action. Same with having extra tight ends. If you can have tight ends who can be effective first and foremost in the blocking phase and then be dynamic catchers of the football, which we know Harold is, off of that, that's where you can start to create complications for defense. So what you want to do is try to find the hybrids in those worlds. And I think that we can agree that Harold, although, he's young, came into the league at 20, I think the blocking phase is certainly a work in progress. But we saw how dynamic the young man is after the catch, and they're going to want to get that going. My theory on this is that they're going to want to pair him with some veterans. I don't think they're going to have the patience necessary to go out and maybe draft a couple later. They might still draft one, but I think there's going to be interest in a primary blocker tight end to go with him who can also be a part of concepts in the pass game. So, think of the Charlie Kohlers of the world who he just left. Or if you wanted to get into a hybrid type of player, you could look at like Patrick Ricard. And again, these are just guys Todd knows, and
Sure.
Those are names that people have obviously thrown out there. Mm-hmm. But there's guys at the college level like Indiana's Riley Nikowski that can be that player that can come in. Alec Ingold was this down in Miami for Mike McDaniel's offense. You're looking for some guys who can really give you good blocking opportunities and good numbers in the box, and then you're obviously, and that's a good thing. Like, the structure what the Browns are chasing is trying to find a way to be successful in running the football against dense boxes. There's a really good Travis Switzer, who's the new offensive coordinator. He over at the Harbaugh Academy. Put together a video on accounting for the eighth man in the blocking game. This is what they're going to try to be getting better at. So they're going to want some guys who can come in and immediately block and play a role in that. And that's why I think they get a little aggressive in free agency or the trade market in trying to supply some guys next to Harold Fan, and both in the fullback opportunity and both in that tight end opportunity to give him a chance to stay on the field, be more of the wide receiver weapon he is, but also we still have a guy out here who can really block if we run say split zone where we're taking the tight end to kick out the opposite edge, or we're running Y counter where we're sending the tight end up and through on a linebacker. That's the stuff they'll want to do. So I think that's where you see some aggressiveness in free agency. I don't think they're going to spend a ton of money, but I do think they're going to look at weapons that can help them in the hybrid package offense game, whether that's a receiver maybe people don't know a ton about, but is a really willing blocker, to be able to do that stuff. And that's where I also think Malachi Corley could have a interesting role going into next year too. Those guys are really willing to get in there and block and be physical inside the tackle box. So that's the stuff I'm predicting. Obviously, they need to reshape this offensive line, and I think they'll obviously go out and get a little aggressive, perhaps in the trade market there ahead of the draft. But it is like reshaping the physicality of this offense, I think, is the spot they want to be. And if you look at some of the weapons, because I still think Jerry Jeudy's got a set for a bounce back here, I think they've got weapons at the wide receiver position. They're going to go out and expand on those, but they want to be able to then live in a world where they're making defenses uncomfortable, and I think that's where they go out and maybe go after that tight end of a more blocking variety, but can also sneak out and do some things in the short intermediate parts of the field too.
Talking to Jake Burns, of course, Browns Film Breakdown fame. Follow him at Browns Film BDN on social. Jake, you mentioned the weapons aspect there with Jerry Jeudy. Nathan and I have been talking about weapons for a while, all the way back to last year. You sit there at 6. Is there a type of receiver in terms of body type, route running type that fits, or is it kind of back to that original answer you gave where he's really malleable? He can work with whatever he needs to work with here to make it work.
Well, the great question, and what I would say, which is a really lame answer, is just pick the best one at 6. If you think Carnell Tate, who's more of a ball winner, like if Carnell Tate's a ball winner by variety, like he's not really a slot guy, very vertical route tree, but he's physical. He certainly can play through contact. He can get open. He can run. If you think he's the best guy that you think is going to hit, then what I'm getting at is they don't have so many slot guys of that, or deep ball lid lifter types or outside perimeter only guys. That means you need to we got to steer away from. No, evaluate the holistic picture of what this guy is, and if you think he's the best one, take him. Tate's very good. I like especially some parts of his game. I certainly think he can play outside, play Z in the NFL, play wide. He can certainly beat guys off the line of scrimmage, good release package. Jordan Tyson, obviously, the Cleveland connection with his brother, who's playing very well for the Cavs. He is like a basketball player on the football field as a wide receiver. Extremely fluid, probably the best break package, really the best technician in the class, by the highest ceiling. The problem a little bit that they have to evaluate is the injury history. Is that a bit of a problem? Is that going to cause you to maybe not want to take him so much there? That's what you got to evaluate too. But then there's Mekhi Lemon, who's been a slot demon out at USC, who's just really good too. That can play inside out. He's got really good ball skills tracing the football. I think the thing that's funny to me is there's the belief that there weren't going to be very many good receivers. This is a really good wide receiver class that's pretty deep. You can even get into the hey, we're around our second round, third round picks, and the guys who are interesting, like Ted Hurst at Georgia State, who had a great Senior Bowl, who I think is fascinating, can be there. Or even looking into some guys like in the second round, top of the second round. If you got crazy, maybe you took a couple tackles early in the class and you just found yourself feeling like Omar Cooper at pick 39, the Indiana kid, if a call back to the touchdown in the back of the end zone there, the sweet feet there on the back line. He's really good too. So there's a lot of opportunity to find what they need in this class, which I think we could all agree is offensive line, wide receiver. And I don't think that it's not meant to be a bad thing, but I don't think they need to limit themselves into fitting some of these guys too much in their early picks into it's got to be a very specific thing. No, right. I think they're at the point where they need to add whatever they think is the best player at those spots. If they get, if they took 2 offensive tackles, I don't think any of us would be bothered. You know what I'm saying? So go chase the best players at those positions you need, and I think this class has exciting talent at those spots.
What do you think of Denzel Boston? Because that's a name that we've seen. If the Browns, there are kind of 2 ways you can do it, right? You can take a receiver at 6 and then address the offensive line late in the first round, early in the second, or you could take offensive line at 6 and then try to get a receiver, late in the first round. That's a name that's been mocked to us quite a bit if they do take a tackle, let's say, at 6.
Yeah, I even got real weird and was looking at a mock where the wide receivers could go earlier than we think. A couple of these I've been looking into, the Jets and the Titans take, Jordan Tyson and any combination of the 2 and Carnell Tate, and you're sitting at 6 and you want a guy, and then maybe you take a tackle, Moyaga or whatever, you take Spencer Fano out of Utah, and then you're up at pick 24, and maybe there's this Monroe Freeland kid or out of Georgia that's really good. And you also looking at the opportunity to maybe take Caleb Loam out of Utah. There's a world where they could be hey, we could solve our tackle in this draft in the first round. And then that's where I was talking about an Omar Cooper or maybe a KC Concepcion falls back to 39, and you're interested in that spot. If they do go into the 24 range at wide receiver, Denzel Boston's fun. I mean, a lot of traits that people really like, man, at being 6'3", 210, more ball winner. He's when you say an X receiver, that's usually, for people that don't know, positions are lettered. So a Z receiver is usually to the formation strength off the ball. That gives him a little bit more of a cleaner release, usually tilts more space in his direction. He's got the whole field to work with the ball on the hash. He's got a lot of space to get open on deep posts and comebacks and in breakers. Whereas an X is teams, for example, the Browns put Denzel Ward to guard that X receiver. It's the boundary player, the tight space player, the ball winner type, usually has to make people, get open in a phone booth, as the theory of tight space in the NFL. And those guys are hard to find, right? But Boston has some of those traits, man. He's got a good size, good frame, only has a 4% drop rate in the college space. He's got a lot of ability to run those quick hitter routes like slants or whip routes that give him quick space. He can break down man coverage. I think there's plenty to like here, good ceiling. But like I said, some of the downfield stuff is really encouraging. Maybe not the most bursty guy, the most high-speed, highest amount of time. But think of him trying to think. I think I've heard people say Michael Pittman. I certainly can see that in the Colts world. I've even seen people throw out Braylon Edwards as a comp from a way back that Browns fans are familiar with, if we think of the good parts of Braylon Edwards' stay in Cleveland. So, again, a guy similar to Carnell Tate in his physique, probably not as naturally gifted as Carnell, not as naturally gifted in the route world, and certainly not, I don't think, does as well in the ball tracing aspect in terms of going up, getting it, catching off frame, things like that. But if you're looking at pick 24, a guy that can give you some of those high-end traits, you're taking a little bit more risk. But again, I think there's enough there to feel really excited about. in that range. Because again, you got to think like pick 24 doesn't mean the guy's like, it's just a fit at that point, right? Because JSN, I think if you redrafted it, that guy's going top 5, but he was picked 20. So it's just fit, teams need, and all that. And I think that with you look at the teams around that pick 24, not many of them are wide receiver hungry. So I do think he's got a chance to be there, and that would be certainly interested in him.
Jake, the last two quarterbacks that Todd worked with are Stetson Bennett and Lamar Jackson. There's very little that those two players have in common, but he made it work with both. When you talk about an open quarterback competition and got to see what everybody's all about, what do you think he will look for out of this room by the time we get to all of that?
Stetson Bennett, when I went back and watched that 22 film, sneaky athlete, guys. Pretty good runner. I would say he loves to have quarterback movement flexibility. I don't think it's a part of, like, he can't operate in a world without it. He certainly has done that for years. I do think he's very interested in having guys that can, at times, could you pull the football and run a little bit? Yeah, that'd be nice. That obviously creates the opportunity to read a backside end or do some unique things. Or what he harps on a lot, which is creating a play outside of structure to create plays. I would talk about this with quarterbacks, like there's a play, and then there's the guys in the league who can create a play out of another play. That's getting out, scrambling, making a guy miss, either running for first downs or throwing and creating big plays off of their ability to get out of the pocket. So just by sheer, like, who's in the building, I think we can agree that Shedeur at times last year invited pressure into the lap, and he sometimes created, but he was also pretty good at getting out of it and when it would arrive, and that's an encouraging part of his ability is, hey, man, can you make people miss? Can you get out of the chaos and try to create some plays? And that's an interesting thing that he's certainly shown last year, late in the year, that he could do that. Obviously, Deshaun Watson goes way back with that, but you got to, like, what version of that are you getting anymore? That's kind of the thing that I'm sure they're all going to be trying to decide this offseason of what is there. But, I mean, I think Monken can live in a world that he doesn't have to do that. I certainly think it's a thing that he would like to have as a quarterback that's not a sitting duck, a guy that can actually get out and run a little bit here and there. And I think that even Dylan Gabriel obviously can get out and move a little bit and run away from people and in space here and there too. So I certainly think every quarterback coach, every play call, every head coach loves a quarterback who can run. What he needs more than anything is a guy who plays on time within the pocket and is efficient there. We'll take everything we can get outside of it, but we need guys who can make good decisions in the pocket, play on time, handle the little things, and take care of the football. I think that's the stuff he's going to want first and foremost, as any coach does. It kind of sounds like coach speak what it is. And then you get to the added bonus traits, which I think he'll certainly want. But I know he wants to play with it. He wants decision-making to happen. He'll want to play on time. He doesn't like taking negatives. Nobody does. But he's really about doing as many things as he can, motion, shifting, formation advantages, to create chaos for the defense, to keep the offense moving forward all the time. The only way you're taking negatives, I think, in this offense is when you make the mistake to take it. And I think that's the biggest thing I've noticed in the last 4 years of his film, is he's doing everything he can to give you an advantage in the pre-snap. He's really good at that. And I think that's been a very big trademark of what he's done. So he needs to find somebody who can take all that information he's giving them and in the run game and pass game make the right decisions to get the team in the best situation every snap. We'll see if that player's on the roster. There's certainly going to be some interesting answers otherwise.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I did this season ticket member kind of chat with Coach Monken earlier, and one of the things we talked about was quarterbacks and how much the game has changed since he was early in the NFL, in terms of back then it was, I need a guy that can be on time, that can be in structure, and you really cared more about quarterbacks that were able to operate from structure than, on what he would call the second play out of structure. And now it's almost the opposite. Like, you need somebody that can make, and he even went out of his way to say, what Detroit has done with Jared Goff, given his physical limitations, is he said is incredibly impressive, that he's on time, he's in rhythm, but when you don't have those kind of second play things, he said it's tougher. And he said the best teams in the red zone have mobile quarterbacks, because the quarterbacks then can break you down with their legs as well. So I think that he definitely wants somebody with movement skills. I think you've got to be able to be a leader. You've got to have the confidence of your teammates. They've got to want to believe in you and follow you and all of those things. And yes, you do have to be able to avoid negatives, as you said. But I do think that Todd Monken, I think after, especially about being around Lamar Jackson and what he can do for you in the run game. I'm not saying he's looking for another Lamar. If it was just that easy, it would be that easy. But I do think he wants some movement skills there. When you look at this thing, and it's funny, he also was asked about balance. Is this going to be a run team? Is it going to be a pass team? Is it going to be a balance team? Jake, his answer to that was, balance is, to me, using every player, every skill player. It's using all the talents of my running backs. It's using all the talents of my pass catchers, all the talents of my tight ends, all the talents of my wide receivers, making them defend every blade of grass horizontally and vertically. And so that he goes, there are times you need to run the ball 4-minute backed up, goal line, things like that. But, and there are times where you have to be able to pass the ball. He said, but for the most part, when you're in the middle of the field, you don't have to run the ball if you're not in some of those situations. So I just thought it was interesting, his perspective. And I think you're very right that he's just going to take what he's got and try to make it as simple for those people so that they can play fast and as confusing for the defense. I'm kind of excited about it. I think it's going to look very different than what we've seen here in the past. But I do think with Switzer coming over as well, don't you think this is going to be a big year for Quinshon Judkins, Jake? And obviously we've got to run the ball. We've got to remake that offensive line. We know that. But George Warhop is here. And just kind of when you watch some of the things that they did on the ground and the fact they were multiple, the fact that, a Ricard is a free agent, but also, you've got Aiden Huntington. Maybe he can fill that role. I think his offense, while it's great for quarterbacks, he's one of the highest air yards per attempt for his quarterbacks in the league. I think we're going to really run the football. And this could be, I think it should be a big year for Quinshon Judkins.
No doubt, and I even like Bobby Johnson, who they brought in as the assistant offensive line coach. And it's nothing against anybody who's been here, Andy Dickerson or Mike Bloomgren or anybody. And I think we can all agree that they're going to reshape some of the talent up front.
Sure.
So it's not one-to-one comparing some of these things, but they're going to emphasize that they have to get back to being the bully team that we remember. I mean, Not much has gone consistently for the last decade or so, but since Joe's draft, the Browns have had good offensive lines. And they've gotten away from that. And that's not necessarily any one thing. It's just age and attrition and some things like that. But they need to, the commitment has got to be to get back to that, because you just don't see teams getting to the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl, that don't have that as a part of their ammunition. And, so that's a huge focal point. I agree with you totally about Quinshon Judkins. I think they're going to find better ways to get Dylan Sampson involved in unique ways. He did a really good job with Keaton Mitchell over there in Baltimore. My theory on Todd Monken, and I'm sure you would probably echo this, and I know I listen to you guys, and you have. I don't know how well he'll do as a leader of an NFL team. I really don't. He's got to not only continue to build the staff. I saw he's keeping Deuce Staley. I think that's a great decision. There's an interesting layer to the staff he's bringing in. I certainly think that there's appeal to some of these guys. We'll see what they do with defensive coordinator. It's whether Todd can really get his guys to believe in him from a staff perspective and then facilitate that out to the field. But what I will guarantee Browns fans is this guy knows offense, man. And he will put together plans that are going to look different than the things you've seen the last 6 years. No offense to anybody running anything the last 6 years, Kevin, and then obviously, Ken Dorsey, and then obviously what Tommy Reese was. It was a very boxed approach, and that works for many teams in the NFL. This is just going to look and feel different. They're going to do different formation stuff than you're used to. They're going to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands in different ways. And it is just going to feel different. And what I have confidence in is that Todd can run offense no matter where he is. He can do it in his sleep. He knows that side of the ball really well. It's just about, again, how good this team is collectively. Can they continue to be as good as they were on defense, and the offense continues to step into a better place? And I think that's a reason to be optimistic about it. We'll see if he can handle the whole shebang of being leading the entire franchise. That's a big thing to have on your plate, especially when you're trying to, continue to run the offense the way you've run it throughout your coaching career. But I have a belief that the offense will look and feel more modernized, and things that you will really appreciate on that side. And hopefully that, I think the edge that Todd brings to the offense, hopefully that can push that group in a better position and meet the defense a little bit, and then you see more wins. And I think the schedule next year has a really awesome opportunity to see a quick turnaround.
Jake, appreciate the time, buddy.
Yes.
You're the best. Thanks for giving us a little bit of your time today and your expertise.
Guys, it's always my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
All right, there he goes. Jake Burns of the Browns Film Breakdown. Follow him at Browns Film BDN on Twitter for more. We'll do a little higher or lower coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back in. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. Time for a little higher, lower. Wow. NFL Power Rankings 2026. Hello, Gibby.
The way too early NFL Power Rankings.
Gosh.
And they incorporated all the NFL Nation reporters, and this was out literally the Super Bowl trophy was just getting cold.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Content, baby.
Yep.
You want
All right.
content. Well, boy, you got it. All right.
Okay.
Should the following teams be higher, lower, or are they just right? First and foremost, these goofballs have us as number 32. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now.
Come on, man. We
you
beat
put
the Raiders last year.
You put the Jets ahead of us? Come on.
Well, the
Yeah,
Jets.
the Jets. I mean, like the Jets.
The Jets are 31. The Raiders are 30. The Dolphins are 29. And somehow the Arizona Cardinals are 28. Come on.
I think that Arizona and the Jets are the two worst circumstances. And I think the only thing really helping Arizona is just climate.
Yes.
But everything else is a debacle.
Yeah.
Like, we have a great defense. Like, that's
Yes.
we've got young stars. Like,
We have the
we've
defensive
got
player
some
of the year
things.
and the defensive rookie of the year.
Right. Yeah. We've got Fannin, we've got
What do they
Junkins.
got?
Like, we've got
Bubkiss.
you got nothing on the Jets and the Cardinals. Nothing.
I don't understand any of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the Dolphins have some weapons, but they're kind of a mess. And they don't what are they doing? They're going to run Tua back?
No way. I think
Okay.
that's going to be he's gone and we'll pay part of it.
Yeah, he's gone.
That feels like Malik Willis to me.
In which case, the tiebreaker goes to us because we have a defense.
Yes.
Yeah. Right?
I don't. Come on.
Yeah,
That's low-hanging fruit.
I think that they made us last because we're the only one with 4 words.
You didn't play by the rules? I got you.
Not me. I'm just saying.
I know not you.
Because late round draft picks, like late round they hyphenated that, but that's like actually that's legit.
Yeah, right.
It's like a late round draft pick. You're saying 5th round and fourth round and on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's go to where the AFC North, the other AFC North teams are ranked. Kevin, hit it.
Higher or lower?
The top ranked AFC North team comes in at number 14. My, how the mighty have fallen. The Baltimore Ravens and their offseason in 3 words, all about Lamar. The Chargers are behind them at 15. Directly in front of them are the Chiefs at 12 and the Texans at 13. Should they be higher, lower, or are they just right, Bo Bishop?
Well, as currently constructed, they should be higher than Kansas City because Patrick Mahomes has a devastating injury. And we don't know when he's going to play. Maybe he plays at the beginning. I don't know if he is or not. But I would probably have Baltimore ahead of Kansas City based on the Mahomes injury. I know he's saying that he's going to be there by the beginning, but that's fast-tracked in a big way. Who else did you say was ahead of him?
The Houston Texans were 13.
I mean, Houston's defense is certainly better, but
The cupboard's
Yeah,
not
I mean, this
bare
is probably
because they
pretty
got
close.
rid of their coach.
this is probably pretty close to the sweet spot for Baltimore, honestly, based on all the unknowns.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we've had unknowns around them.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it also is the question of, what does Lamar Jackson want to be as a quarterback? What is he willing to do, at this stage in his career, or is he now unwilling to do some of the things that made him so dynamic and take that pounding of being somebody who spends a lot of time running?
Next.
Higher or lower?
The next one up in the AFC North comes in at number 16. It is the Northern Kentucky Bengals. The offseason in 3 words, improved the defense.
Good, no kidding.
I could also say missed your window. There you go. There's 3 words for you.
Yeah, I like that.
Higher, lower, or just right. Tampa Bay is behind them. Dallas is behind them. And the suspects in front of them. Zagura.
I think middle of the league is probably where they should be, with obviously the potential to rocket up from there. But it feels like that's probably appropriate for them. But they've got the chance to jump right up because they've got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins.
Bishop.
Yeah, I would echo that. I mean, this isn't necessarily the most intriguing, but I think that this is kind of sweet spot. I think there's not much difference between, a lot of these teams in here. These are all teams that, with a good off season, could you see? I mean, just go from Kansas City, Houston, Baltimore, Chargers, Bills, like those ones, and then I would put Dallas in there, and maybe not Tampa, but like with a move here or there, would it surprise me if those were playoff teams or NFC, AFC championship teams? Not necessarily.
Right.
They're not that far off.
Right.
Just a little bit of puck luck and have good off seasons. You could be right there.
Next.
Higher or lower?
Final one is the Pukers. Pitts Puke comes in at 21, and I'm not going to ask you higher or lower, but I did find it interesting. Brooke Pryor's offseason, in 3 words, not a rebuild. I'm not sure I subscribe to that.
They should.
They should. What is the ceiling if that's what they're doing? What is the ceiling if this is not a rebuild, if this is what they're doing? What are they trying to be?
I don't know.
And I shouldn't, Brooke wrote that, but their CEO, Art Rooney, was clear he doesn't view this offseason as an opportunity to rebuild. So this is coming from clearly the higher-ups, and she's taking it from that.
Well, you can define it however you want, but it's a rebuild. It's a build.
It's a build.
They need to be built. I mean, they haven't been a contender. They haven't won a playoff game since what, 16?
Yeah.
Is it that long?
They have not won a playoff game since 16. That is correct.
Okay. So
Yeah,
they need to be built.
I think it needs a rebuild. And what is bringing back 1 year of Aaron Rodgers again do? I don't quite understand.
You're just prolonging the inevitable.
I don't think anybody would think that they were a danger to winning the Super Bowl.
No.
Nope, not at all. I don't understand that.
They weren't a danger in the AFC.
Yeah.
Correct. All right, let's go back up to the top 10. Kev?
Higher or lower?
Seattle is number 1, as well they should, in this way too early power rankings for 2026. But number 2 is the Super Bowl runner-ups, the New England Patriots. Higher, lower, or just right, Nathan?
Do you say number 22 is the New England Patriots?
Number 2.
Number
number
2.
two.
I was like, number 22.
Number 2.
Carolina Panthers coming in at 22. A little disrespectful, I'd say there. No, they are not the second best team in the league. The Rams are better than them right now. I think that the Niners might be better than them. I think the Broncos at full strength are probably better than them. But they're a good team. I think they belong in the top 10. But I think a lot kind of went right for them to be in that position that they were. I mean, it was clear to me that the NFC Championship game was the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And so if that's the case, then you're not the number 2 team.
All right, Bishop, the next one here, because we're up against it. The Rams are number 3. The Broncos are number 4. The Bills are number 5. Denver, higher, lower, or just right at number 4?
I would have Denver. I would have Denver as the highest rated AFC team. I would probably have them right about where they are, 4 or 5. But I would probably go Seattle, Rams, Niners, and then probably Denver, although
Yeah.
Probably Denver there. I would probably have Denver 4 or 5, someone there. I think they're the best team in the AFC heading into the offseason. I think they, obviously with the injury to Nix, it would have probably been different when it comes to that game. And I'm with you. I would have New England somewhere in the Jacksonville, Philly, Chicago, Green Bay world is kind of where I would have New England.
Yeah.
I agree with that completely.
The Bills are 5, 49ers 6, the Lions 7, Eagles
It's
8.
high. That's high on the Bills, guys.
Very high on the
I
Bills for a
agree.
team
New
that had a
regime.
lot of issues on defense and really has Josh Allen and James Cook, and they need a lot of help on offense. That's because that's Josh Allen. That is them saying that Josh Allen is the best player in the NFL, and the best player in the NFL can't be lower than 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacksonville was 9, Packers 10, and the Bears were 11 to round out kind of like that top grouping.
It's too damn low for the Bears.
I think so.
They're better than Detroit.
I think they might be better than Green Bay.
They just beat them.
I like the Bears. I think
that's too
It is
low.
going to be very, very interesting.
It might be better than Philly, frankly. I think Philly's
Yeah.
got some serious questions they got to look at.
Yeah. I think you might be right.
I think
All right, so much more to come. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Zach Bryan is bringing his With Heaven On World Tour to Huntington Bank Field on Saturday, May 9th. Hear all his classics and witness his new album live in Cleveland. Don't miss out on an incredible night of country hits. Get tickets now by visiting huntingtonbankfield.com/Zach Bryan. And that will do it for us, my friends. We will be back tomorrow with more Cleveland Browns Daily. We appreciate your listening as always and look forward to talking with you again then. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland.